Namaskar to all learners. We have completed Chapter 1 Real Numbers of Class 10th of NCERT book. Today we will do some practice questions. Question number 1 is, can two numbers have 15 as their HCF and 365 as their LCM? Students, we know that HCF is always a factor of LCM. Means HCF always divides LCM, or LCM is always a multiple of HCF, or LCM is always a multiple of HCF. But here HCF is 365 is not a multiple of 15 because 365 is not completely divisible by 15. You can see 15 to the 30, remainder 6, 5. 15 for the 60. So it is not completely divisible by 15, means 15 is not a factor of 365. Hence, two numbers can't have 15 as their HCF. Their HCF and 365 as LCM. I think you got it, because 15 is not a factor of 365, so this is not possible. Question number 2 is, the decimal expansion of 43 over 2 raised to power 4, 5 raised to power 3 will terminate after how many places of decimals? We know that if prime factorization of denominator, means if we write rational number in the form of p by q, then if prime factorization of q in the form of 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n, where mn are whole numbers, where mn non-negative integers, second name of non-negative integers, because non-negative integers are 0, 1, 2 up to infinite, so we can say here mn are whole numbers. Second name of non-negative integers is whole numbers. So here prime factorization of denominator is already in the form of 2 raised to power 4, 5 raised to power 3. So it will terminate. But after how many places of decimals? So we know that if denominator is in the form of 10 or 100 or 1000, you can take any number in numerator like 173, 5, 2, 4, 6. Then we can easily convert into decimal expansion. After, since 1 0 is in denominator, so it will be 4.3. 2 zeros in denominator, so after 2 digits from right hand side we put decimal, 3 zeros in denominator, so after 3 digits from right hand side, so it will be 5.246. So in our problem we will try to make our denominator as power of 10. So 2 raised to power 4, we can write 2 raised to power 3, into 5 raised to power 3 into 2. I factorize separately. I factorize 2 raised to power 4 as 2 raised to power 3 into 2. So we can write it as 43 by 10 raised to power 3 into 2. But extra 2 is in denominator. So we can do 43 into 5, and also we can multiply 2 into 5. So it will be 43 into 5 or 10 raised to power 3 into 10 is equal to 43 into 5 by 10 raised to power 4. So since 40 will occur in denominator, so after 4 digit, after how many places of decimals? After 4 places of decimals, it will terminate. Hence, after 4 places of decimals, it means a given number, it will terminate. When we find that 2 raised to power 4, then we can say directly that after 4 places of decimal. But it's very good and proper method to make denominator as power of 10. Now next question is, which of the following numbers can be represented as non-terminating repeating decimals? Non-terminating repeating decimals are rational numbers. So first is 39 by 24. Students, look carefully. If you do prime factorization of 24, then you get 3 into 2 into 2 into 2, and you will see that 3 is here, so it will be non-terminating. But since 39 by 24 is not in standard form, so this method is wrong. This method is wrong. First we will make it in standard form. So divide by 3, we get 13 by 8. Now 13 by 8 is equal to 13 and 2 raised to power 3. So now it's terminating. Second is 3 by 16. Already it is also 2 raised to power 4. Prime factorization of denominator is 2 raised to power 4. 2 to the 4 to the 8 to the 16. 11. We can't factorize 11 because 11 is a prime number. So this is non-terminating repeating decimals. Next is 137 by 25. Already 137 by 5 raised to power 2 means in the form of 5 or in the form of power of 5. So our answer is third one. Question number 4 is fill in the blanks. For some integer q, every even integer is of the form dash and every odd integer is of the form fill in the blanks. So let's start solution. Let a be any positive integer. Since a will work as dividend, so for divisor let b is equal to 2. Then by Euclid's division lemma, when we will divide a by 2, then A is equal to, we know that A is equal to BQ plus R by Euclid's division lemma. But here our B is equal to 2. So we get Q as quotient and R is remainder, where R will be greater than equal 0 but less than 2, less than divisor, because R is always less than divisor, less than 2. It means R is equal to 0 and 1. So we get A is equal to 2Q plus 0, it means 2Q, and 2Q plus 1. So we get two numbers, 2Q and 2Q plus 1. But if we take A as integer, even integer, so even integer will also in the form of 2Q, and odd integer is not divisible by 2, so 2Q plus 1. So here we will fill 2Q, and for every odd integer it will be 2Q plus 1, where Q is quotient. Next part is division of a natural number by another natural number gives. So I think you will say natural number. But students, if you take for a number 4 and you divide by another number 2, then you get a natural number, whole number. This is also a whole number. This is also integer, and this is also a rational number. But when you take a number 2, reverse of it, and you divide it by 4, then you get 1 by 2. Then it is not natural number, not whole number, not integers, but it is only rational number. So division of a natural number by another natural number gives a rational number, because in first case we get 2, that is also a rational number. In case second we get 1 by 2, that is also a rational number, because it is equal to 0.5, that is not an integer. If you take another example as 3, a natural number, divide by 4, then this is also a rational number. This is not natural, whole and integer. This is only rational number. So our answer will be a rational number. Third part is product of two irrational numbers is dash. So for that, let's take example. Let 2 plus under root 3 is an irrational number, and we represent irrational number by q dash, and we take another irrational number that is also irrational number. When we will multiply, then we get 2 square root 5 plus square root of 15, and this is irrational number. But if we take second example, that one irrational number is 2 plus under root 3, another irrational number is 2 minus under root 3, and we multiply both, then we get a square minus b square. Using the identity of a plus b, a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So here we get 4 minus 3, and that is equal to 1. And this time it is not an irrational number, it is a rational number. 1 is a rational number. So our answer will be product of two irrational numbers is sometimes a rational number or sometimes irrational. Otherwise, you can write real number. Product of two irrational numbers is always a real number, because irrational numbers are also real numbers and rational numbers are also real numbers. Because irrational numbers are also real numbers and rational number is also real number. So product of two irrational numbers is always a real number. Otherwise, sometimes a rational number or sometimes irrational numbers. Question number 5 is, what is trichotomy law? Trichotomy law is, if we take A and B, two real numbers, if A and B are any two real numbers, then three cases will be there, three conditions: A greater than B, or second, A less than B, or A is equal to B. One of these conditions will hold. This is trichotomy law. Question number 6 is, if the HCF of 65 and 117 is expressible in the form 65m minus 117, then find out the value of m. Clearly, we have to find out HCF. For HCF, we can use any method. So we do here prime factorization method. 65 is equal to 13 into 5. 117, you can do prime factorization. 5, 13. And 117, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 1, 9. It is divisible by 3. 3 3s are 9, 3 9s are again by 3 and 13. So we are using prime factorization method to find out HCF. Now 117 is equal to 3 into 3 into 13. What is common factor here? Common factor is 13 only. So HCF is equal to 13. As our question's condition, HCF can be written in the form of 65. So according to question, 65m minus 117 is equal to HCF, that is equal to 13. We have to find out the value of m. So we will take 117 in right hand side using transposing method. 65m is equal to 130, and now we will keep separate m one hand side, and another hand side we will carry 65, will go in division operation. You can see. So it is completely divisible, hence m is equal to 2. I think students you got it. If you have any doubt, then please ask in comment box. Question 6 is very important for the examination point of view. Now our last question, question number 7 is 165 a prime number? This is a very simple question, and in this video this is last question. So to find out a prime number or composite number, we will see nearest value of root 165, and we know that 13 is equal to square root of 169. So nearest value of square root 165 is 13. Since square root of 169 is greater than square root of 165, so that is 13 is greater than 165, because square root of 169 is equal to 13. Now, for divisibility test, there is no need to divide any number. We test the divisibility only for prime numbers. We test the divisibility of 165 by each of the prime numbers, not all numbers, only by prime numbers less than 13. Less than 13 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and we get 165 is divisible by 11. Hence, 165 is not a prime number. It is a composite number. I think students, you got something new from this video. So please like, share and subscribe my video. Thank you. Have a nice day.